Good afternoon and welcome everybody to another edition of NSCAC Behind the Bench. I'm here with our technical director and my former coach, my good friend, my colleague, Tony LaFerrara, and we're here to speak to everybody about the same topic that we originally discussed about 1 month ago, which is technical development and physical literacy in youth soccer. A month ago, we kind of introduced the real grassroots side of this topic with under 8 to under 10. And now we're going to speak about a little bit of the kind of a transitional period, transitional stage of development for youth players, which is ages 11 to 13 in part 2 of this 2-part webinar. So again, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. And I'll just mention, of course, we want to make this as interactive as possible. If you've got any questions for either myself or Tony, please feel free to use the Q&A box or the chat feature. Type your questions in, and we'll do our best to to get to as many of them as we can. So with that out of the way, then I will hand it over to Tony to get started on this topic.
Yeah. Thank you, Richard, and welcome everyone. Yeah, like you said, we're going to continue with the part 2, I guess, of the player development from U7 to U13, right? And so it was a few weeks ago we stopped at U10, and so today we'll continue with U11s and 12s. But what I wanted to mention as well, Richard, is that some of the handouts that we prepared last time are on our website, and if the members can go there and download it, and the ones that we're talking about today will be on the website as well. So if you're a member, you can go and download it, and we encourage you to become a member. Let's get started. we'll kind of recap a little bit, the U9s and U10s, U8, U9s and 10s, just briefly. At this level, at this stage, they're still in, in my opinion, they're still in the basic stage. They're still in, always in a learning stage, but this is the very basic learning stage from U8, U9, U10, and U11, right? So we talked about the U7s. What do you do with these kids at U7 and U8? What we talked about was that U7, U8, you try to build, create a relationship, with the ball, the player and the ball, and as they get older, a relationship with the players, the ball, and other players, right? You're trying to develop, their motor skills, combining, with the ball and without the ball, I guess, right? At U9, the players start at U9 and U10, they start to understand the game a little bit better, a little bit, they want to be challenged a little bit more. They're open to more challenges, right? They're willing and able to learn more. I think, what I find is that most coaches will go 2 ways. They either going to try to do too much with them at that age group, or they don't do enough. And by that, doing enough is just they throw a ball in the middle and let them play. You still need to help them and support them and guide them, through their especially U9s and 10s, right? We talked about small-sided games, using small-sided games to help them understand and learn the game and learn all the skills necessary and so on. And then you get to U11, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today, the U11s. So as soon as I can find oh, here it is. I found it, Richard, without your help.
Oh, wow. All right. That's technical development.
Technical development, yeah. So at U11, things get really interesting, I think, for both coaches and players, right? They understand working together as a team, right? That the understanding of working together as a team develops more and more, within the players, right? They're more aware of their own individual roles in relation to teamwork, and they're more aware of the roles and responsibility when attacking and when defending, right? Now you have, now you're playing 9v9. So the whole picture changes for every one of these players on the field, right? With 8 outfield players, right? There is less space on the field, even though the field is a little bit bigger, but it's still a little bit crowded, right? And now players start to get into more, specific positions, whether defending or midfield or attacking. At this age, the kids become very, very competitive, and they, my what I've learned over the years with, especially with the U11s, they're very, very intelligent when it comes to, soccer, and they develop their skills quite quickly, and they're willing and able to try, something a little bit more challenging. So it's up to the coach at this stage to raise the bar a little bit, right? And challenge them every time you get an opportunity. The one piece of advice is don't, give them a lot of information, information overkill, but keep it simple and teach them about the game. But still, at the same time, you have to figure out a way to challenge them. Richard, we were talking before about, just before we went on, PHV, the pick height velocity. How do you see that? Every piece of literature that we read about long-term player development, there is always mention of pick height velocity. You want to talk about that a little bit, and how important is it?
Absolutely.
Especially at this age group.
Yeah, and I should mention, Tony, as you were speaking, I did, put up our NSCAC document with the U11 training guidelines. I know you're going to refer back to that. And again, as Tony mentioned, all of these documents that we're referencing in this webinar, they're going to be available on our website, in the members area. Members can see them, and if not, we hope you'll consider to become a member so you can see them. So I'm going to switch. So this is just a slide.
Yep.
Okay, from my soccer fitness trainer diploma course here. Did I lose it? Where are we here? This is the slide that I want. Okay, so essentially, when we talk about PHV means peak height velocity. It's literally, if you were to plot the rate of growth or the speed of growth in terms of height for a youth athlete, then the moment where that rate of growth is at its maximum, that's the peak of height velocity. That's the peak rate of growth for young athletes. And I'll zoom in a little here so maybe people can see it a little bit better. Okay, but this again, and this is taken directly from one of the courses that I teach, where we talk about this topic in a lot more detail. Okay, but the red line here, this is indicative of the average rate of growth for girls from age under 11 up to under 17. Then the blue line, or the darker line, that's the average rate of growth for boys in the same age category. So the first thing that I think coaches need to keep in mind when we talk about peak height velocity and some of the physical and physiological changes that go on in athletes is that boys and girls don't develop at the same rate. Girls on average are about 1.5 to 2 years early, and you can see that reflected here. So the peak of height velocity, that's the area on the curve where the line is as straight or vertical as possible. That indicates the fastest rate of growth. And on average for girls, that's going to happen between the ages of 11 to 12. Whereas for boys, it's going to happen on average between the ages of 13 to 14.
Thank you for watching this short preview video from the National Soccer Coaches Association of Canada. To see the full video, plus have access to hundreds of other coaching videos, blogs, webinars, and podcasts, plus free and discounted coach education courses and other soccer merchandise, plus to have exclusive access to register for all future NSCAC conventions, both live and online, click on the link below to become a member of the NSCAC today. Also, please remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as your continued support allows us to continue to provide coach education and coach development resources to soccer coaches across Canada and worldwide. Thank you again for your continued support, and we look forward to seeing you at future NSCAC events.